Tonight, explore 5 tales where ordinary homes become scenes of eerie terror under the relentless storm. As lightning illuminates and rain patters, the line between the mundane and the horrific blurs, inviting you into a haunted journey. Story 1. The Echoing Hallway. As the storm's fury intensifies outside, Sarah's heartbeat quickens in tandem. The footsteps become a rhythmic torment, each soggy squelch a sharp strike against her calm. Drawing a deep breath, she decides to confront her fear. Clutching a flashlight, she edges toward the hallway. The air grows inexplicably colder as she steps forward, her light cutting through the darkness. Yet the beam reveals nothing but her familiar surroundings. Pictures on the walls, a rug worn from years of treading, each detail a stark contrast to the eerie sounds accompanying her every step. A sudden wind rattles the windows, causing the power to flicker and casting dancing shadows on the walls. Sarah catches a glimpse of an out-of-place shadow darting away as the footsteps cease, plunging the hallway into a heavy silence. Resuming her walk, the creaking floorboards echo her growing fear, feeling the gaze of an unseen observer closely watching her every move. Sarah reaches the end of the hallway, her flashlight's beam trembling in her unsteady grip. She knows she is not alone. With a resolve born of desperation, she whispers into the darkness, "Who's there?" But only the storm replies, its howl mocking her solitude. Shaken, she retreats, the mystery of the echoing footsteps unsolved, leaving her to wonder if the night's terror was a harbinger of something more sinister, or merely the wild imaginings of a storm-driven fright. Story 2. The Reflection That Watched Back. Mark's breath hitches as he stands rooted to the spot, the hair on the back of his neck bristling. His heart thumps loudly, almost drowning out the storm outside. The smiling reflection narrows its eyes, its gaze piercing through the glass with unsettling intent. Mark musters the courage to move, retreating step by step, his eyes locked with the sinister grin that mirrors yet mocks his growing terror. With each step back, the reflection's smile widens, as if delighted by his fear. Mark reaches for his phone, his hands trembling, but the screen remains dark, the battery life drained away as if sapped by the apparition. Feeling cornered, he grabs a book from the coffee table, hurling it at the window in a desperate attempt to shatter the haunting image. But the window doesn't break. The book bounces off, falling to the floor with a thud, while the reflection simply tilts its head, amusement flickering in its eyes. Realizing that physical actions are useless, Mark challenges the sinister reflection, which stops and points to something behind him. Mark discovers an old family portrait showing not his reflection, but that of his estranged father, revealing a troubled past he's ignored. As the storm intensifies, it mirrors the inner turmoil Mark feels, facing not just a literal window, but a metaphorical one to his soul, compelling him to confront his neglected life. Sound of rain and wind dying down, as if the storm is waiting for Mark's next move. Story 3. Whispers in the Static. Emily leans forward, her fingers tightening around the worn leather of her armchair. The whispers morph into discernible sentences. "She's alone," one says, a sibilant hiss that chills her spine. "Perfect for the gathering," another agrees, the voice unnervingly familiar. She shakes her head, convinced her mind is playing tricks, fueled by the isolation and the storm's eerie symphony. Despite her initial doubt, Emily's curiosity compels her to engage with the mysterious voices emanating from the radio. When she questions the presence, the only response is a menacing laugh that shockingly comes from within her house, not the radio. As she moves towards the hallway, the voices ominously hint at an impending event at midnight, further unsettling her. Feeling a chilling draft, Emily finds the radio now silent, suggesting that its eerie mission is complete. Her practical mind wrestles with the fear that grips her. Ghosts? Spirits? Her rational beliefs waver as the storm outside mirrors her inner turmoil. The clock chimes ominously, marking the approach of midnight. Emily grips a candlestick, the weight oddly comforting, as she forces herself to confront the unknown. As the final chime fades, a surge of static bursts from the radio once more. Emily whirls around, the candlestick raised. The air before her shimmers, distorting like heat above a flame. Her breath catches as figures begin to materialize, their forms blurry and indistinct. "Welcome, Emily," they chorus, their voices now clear and strangely soothing. As the storm quiets, Emily encounters the spirits of past residents in her home, who gather to share their life stories. Invited to listen, she hears tales of joy and sorrow, fostering a connection that eases her sense of isolation. As dawn arrives and the spirits fade, Emily is left with a deep peace and a newfound bond with her home, no longer feeling alone within its walls. Story 4. The Eyes in the Attic. With each step, the old wooden stairs groan under Jacob's weight, the sound barely audible over the relentless storm. He hesitates at the attic entrance, a cold draft greeting him. Pushing aside his trepidation, he flicks on his flashlight, its beam slicing through the darkness. The attic is cluttered, filled with forgotten relics of past decades, dusty furniture, boxes of old books, and faded photographs strewn about. Jacob's flashlight flits from corner to corner, illuminating the space in brief, stark flashes. As the thunder echoes, another flash of lightning reveals the eyes again, glaring intently at him from behind an old trunk. He snaps his head towards them, but they vanish before his gaze. The silence in the attic is thick, punctuated only by the heavy breaths he draws, each more anxious than the last. Trying to shake off the chill settling in his bones, Jacob moves deeper into the attic. The eyes appear again, this time from a dark nook beneath the eaves. Realizing they follow his every move, he stops, his heart pounding in his chest. "Who's there?" he calls into the darkness, his voice more a whisper than a demand. No answer comes, only the sound of the rain against the roof grows louder, as if to drown out his feeble attempt at bravery. A sudden movement draws his attention to the far end of the attic. A shadow shifts, and the eyes reappear, closer this time, their gaze unyielding. Jacob's fear morphs into resolve as he steps forward, determined to confront whatever haunts him. As he approaches, the eyes blink once, slowly, an unmistakably human gesture that sends a shiver down his spine. Jacob discovers a dusty mirror in the attic and is startled to see eyes reflecting back at him, not his own, but those of his deceased grandfather, revealing a spiritual presence linked to cherished family relics. As he processes this connection, he realizes the attic not only stores physical mementos, but also cradles spirits of the past, watching over and ensuring their memories persist. The storm fades, leaving Jacob comforted by the enduring watchfulness of his ancestors, enveloped in a contemplative silence. Story 5. The Caller from Inside the House. Laura's hand trembles as she holds the phone to her ear, the caller's breathing shallow and steady through the speaker. The home security app on her mobile flickers with each notification of movement detected upstairs, a silent alarm that heightens her terror. With a deep, steadying breath, she begins her ascent, each step up the staircase creaking ominously under her weight. The air grows colder as she reaches the landing. The house seems to hold its breath with her, the only sounds the storm outside and the eerie, rhythmic breathing from the phone. She pauses, her heart pounding in her chest. "Who is this?" she whispers into the phone, her voice cracking. The caller remains silent, offering no clues but the unnerving sound of their breath. Laura cautiously approaches the master bedroom, the storm casting eerie shadows across its threshold. As she surveys the seemingly empty room, a mysterious whisper from the phone urges her to look behind. Startled, she finds nothing in the hallway, but a mirror reveals a fleeting figure in its reflection, which disappears when she turns to confront it directly, heightening the chilling atmosphere of the unexplained occurrences. As Laura confronts the mysterious caller, a new sorrowful voice pleads, "Don't forget me," the voice of her deceased sister, stirring a mix of fear and recognition. Realization dawns, and as the oppressive atmosphere lifts and the storm subsides, Laura finds comfort in understanding that the unsettling occurrences were not malevolent, but a poignant reminder of an enduring bond with her sister, transcending death. These stories, drawn from the whispers of the storm, remind us that fear often finds us most vulnerable in our own sanctuaries. As the rain continues to fall, remember, The true terror might not come from the storm outside, but from the quiet inside, where we are most alone. Good night, dear listeners, and may the storm pass quietly.